G'day everybody, welcome to Battlefield Accessories. I'm Mike and I'm really pleased to be announcing our new RPG system. So it consists of a bunch of tiles like this, wall sections with removable doors and things, floor tiles. Really great system, lots of flexibility, really great for role-playing games, but also things like Frostgrave, anything where you might need a skirmish set of passages and things like that. So in this video I've got a short sequence of us setting up a bit of a table and packing it down, and then a series of bits looking at the construction of the actual system. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so just want to quickly show you how the wall sections lock together. So they have this rebate at the top and this tooth at the bottom. So basically you take your corner either side, slide it in at the top, and then it drops down. So that's now locked in at the bottom. So to remove, up and out. Same again, in and down, up and out. So the system is really great. It keeps them locked together while they're on the table. Right, but prevents you from, one bump on the table and all of your corridor walls are all messed up. Okay, so this is the guide for building a Battlefield Accessories RPG column. They look like this when they're completed. The idea is that the wall sections lock inside these sections here. So that's it. Like that. Okay, so in a sprue you get two of them, right? So I'm just going to break out the parts for one. So you can see the action. A little folding backwards and forwards will bring these parts out cleanly. You can clean them off with a modelling knife if you'd like to. There's no great need. With this piece here, if you see that not all of these cutouts have dropped through, so just grab a brush and just give them a bit of a push. They're reasonably tight, so you might have to grab them with your fingernails from the back. It's very important that all those are cleaned out before you start construction. Okay. So, there are basically two ways to put this together. Both of them work. The way I'm going to suggest you do it is that in the center section here, you'll see this center piece here is long ways. So I would put the two side H pieces in either side of that. Now, if you do it the other way, it actually doesn't matter. It's just this is the way that I prefer to do it. Now, in terms of the construction for this, a little puddle of PVA glue, very handy. So for me, what I do is I take my H piece, just touch the ends in glue, and then stand it up in the two holes. Then take these two pieces like this, bit of glue, just run it up and down, so they stick together. A little bit more glue on the bottom, and then stand it up in the center hole. So you see how it's sitting in there like that. Okay, if I look at it from underneath, you can see the holes that have got glue in them. Take my third or second H piece, place that in. Right, then grab an old paintbrush, just dab a bit of glue in those joints at the top, and then take the final square. Now, trap for young players here, make sure that that long hole is lined up in the correct direction, right? And then just basically line it up on top, push down with your thumb, and that column is now put together. Okay. One final thing to do is come with your old paintbrush and just clean out any excess glue you've got in the bottom. You get a little bit of pooling there, so just give that a brush around, and that column is done. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you how to put together the wall units for the RPG system. They're all basically the same, so I'm just going to show you on this 3-inch wall section. So, break them out. Be careful of these tiny little corner pieces. They're important because they'll help you lock the things together. Okay, so really straightforward. Come along, little bead of glue, not too much. If you get too much, then you'll get a bit of float between the two pieces. You don't want that. Take your second piece, put it on, and then what I find is I like to spread it around and use a circular motion. You'll find it starts to grip. Right? Then just make sure that the two ends, so the critical bits here are, and it's quite difficult to see on that background, these little bits here and here. The two teeth will be offset. Okay, so I'm then going to come along, bit of glue on the top surface, on the face of the teeth. You see it's moving around a little bit, that's okay, because I'm going to grab my base, lock the thing down in the base, and that holds the whole thing together. There you have one completed wall section. So the RPG system doors follow the same basic design idea, and so I'm going to build one of them here and show you it. So you have a timber sprue, right, and a card sprue. Now the card sprue gives us the door and the overlays around the door to give it a bit of depth, also to allow it so the door doesn't fall out, and then of course the timber bit gives you the base. So I'm going to quickly break this out. Of all the pieces in the system, these are the ones that I have are a little bit fragile, so just be careful with them. Okay, so the idea is that you have one full face and one partial face. The partial face obviously goes on the back of the full face and it gives you a cavity. That cavity is then covered by the taller of the two card pieces. So like that, and then the door then slides in through the cavity which is left at the top. Okay, so I'll show you quickly how to glue it together. So I'm going to use a paintbrush for this. So I'm going to come along, I'm going to glue the inside of the smaller piece. I'm going to glue that together, making sure that the edges are lined up because I want that cavity nice and square. Then I'm going to come along, bit of glue across the base, and physically stick it into its base. Now the base is designed to help line it up, so you can see that's there like that. Then I'm going to grab my card surround. Going to run the glue again on the inside of that timber. I'm not going to glue the back of the card for this part, because if I glue the back of the card, I'm going to end up with a whole pile of glue in the cavity, and that cavity is reasonably tight as it is. I don't want to make it too tight. Oops. Then glue that in place. The reason for putting it on its base first is that then I can adjust the height to be exactly what I want. Right, so that's done. Flip it over, grab the other base, or the other timber surround, and again, just come along, and glue that in place. So there's the door. I also have two stones, if you like. They're simulating pavement. Or flagstones. So again, whack a bit of glue here and a little bit of glue there. And put my two stones on. Right, and that's the doorway complete. The actual door itself, again, careful with the glue. You want to get it right out to the edges. This door, of course, is double-sided. Thickness of the door is about completed door is about 2.2 mil. You have a 3 mil gap, so it's snug without being too tight. Just going to make sure that it's together properly. If you want to really check, a couple of clothes pegs on here just to clamp it together, wouldn't hurt. Right, and then let that dry. So I'll just grab one that I prepared earlier. So here is one which I did just before, right, and you can see the principle is that the door slides in and out. So as in your game, somebody opens the door, beauty, door is open. Okay, I'm just going to quickly show you how to do the flagstones now. You can see this sprue's already been used. Basically each of these flagstones come with a small link piece between them, so the whole thing will stand up by itself. So what you want to do, so I've got this 3x3 grid that I'm going to do, so I'm going to pick a section of this which is 3x3. I'm going to come out there and I'm going to grab my modelling knife and quick and carefully just cut any tags that are linking the edges to this. So to give you a tip, there's a tag in each of the corners in the center of each of the lines, so there's 5 tags linking the outside, and then as I said, there's tags between each of them. So I'm just going to come and trim those. And you'll see that I have a grid. Now, this is a compromise solution because originally when we designed these, we had each of these as individuals, right? And that became very painful to stick them down. So what we've done is we decided that we're going to have them linked, and then once you've glued them in place, you can come and then trim those individual tags out. But it just means the actual production process of getting them stuck to the base is much quicker. So I'm going to come along with my PVA glue. I'm just going to basically do a circle in each one. Now, depending on how much time you want to take, you can spend a little bit of time if you want with your old paintbrush spreading that out. For me, I don't like spending extra time, so I'm just going to come along and stick that down to the grid. And there we have one flagstone piece. As I said, once that's dry, I can come along and trim these very small, I think they're 0.2 of a mil link pieces out if I want.